Okay, now we're gonna go through the Copilot demo. So as you can see, I have a controller and a Copilot, and on the Copilot dashboard, you can see things like the number of gateways and their status. You can see how many accounts I've onboarded in this setup. I have an AWS, an Azure, and a GCP account. I have a number of transit gateways. I have some site to cloud connections, which means connections to external entities outside the Aviatrix fabric. I have some BGP connections. So there's a lot of value in seeing all of that in a single dashboard. You're also able to see the virtual machines that are non-Aviatrix. So this is a BU1 front end. I'll show you topology in a minute. BU2 mobile app. So you're able to see even details about virtual machines that are not Aviatrix. Once we turn the Threat IQ and Threat Guard, you'll also be able to see some details about the threats. You're able to see accounts by cloud, gateways in each cloud. So you can see here that Azure has the highest number of gateways. The number of transit gateways in each cloud is equal 111. Instances in each cloud. Gateways by type, meaning spoke or transit or other gateways. As logical, the spoke gateways will be the majority. Per region, what is the most used region? And what are the instance sizes of the gateways that are being used? Okay. If you go under airspace, there is the topology. I really like this view because it shows you the multi-cloud topology in a live manner. Because as you know, when you are in the cloud is an API. So people can create resources on the fly. So it's very hard to keep track of this via something like a Visio. So what is possible here is to be able to see all the resources. Let's say this is a VPC in AWS, and if you want, you can see the legend, and it tells you that the VPC in AWS is this icon, the subnet in AWS. First, before we go there, the VNet in Azure is this icon, and the VPC in GCP has this icon. Now, if I expand one of these, you will see that there is a subnet, okay, and you can see the subnet, you can see the user virtual machine, basically the virtual machine, which is basically, if I can even click on it and get the details, its name, I can get its, in which subnet it lives, I can get what is the public IP, what is the private IP, all of these details, what is even the instance size, all of these details I can actually get from the topology view. And what's also interesting is I can even click on the gateway, which is the item here, and click on tools and go to gateway diagnostics. I can launch a ping from the gateway. I can do packet captures, which is really impressive. I can choose on which interface I want to do the packet capture. I can do things like trace routes. Active sessions, meaning what is the traffic that is going through these gateways. And you can even search, and you can use do some more advanced search here. You can look at the interface stats and look at a particular tunnel, for example, and see if there is some how much packets have been sent and received. All of the details you can get from this topology view. You can restart some services if needed, or you can do some diagnostics if you are having an issue and you want to involve support. So you can even, as I said, submit the diagnostics results to support. So all of that you can do from a single page. which means you're able to find. What's even nice is if somebody gives you an IP address, let's say, or gives you even a virtual machine name, like this is the virtual machine name, and you don't know where that VM lives, you can go and search, and I am able to find it. And then I'm able to find the subnet where it lives, and then the VPC where it lives. And then this makes it easier for me to go and check what are the gateways that are relevant within this discussion. So there's a lot of value. Even if I have an IP address, I'm able to do the same. And this is the whole topology expanded. And if I want to collapse it, I can just click on the button here. Or if I want to expand it, I can also obviously do some zoom ins and zoom outs, or I can reset the view. Again, there's a lot of value from seeing the overall topology. The other thing which is really nice, so now we understand there's a VPC that has subnets, there's a gateway inside, and there is an application, there's a workload, a mobile app that is inside. We can get all the details about the private, the public IPs, the instance size. The other thing that's really nice is you're able even to see the latency, because there's the link. Sorry, so there is an attachment between this VPC and the transit. Basically, the gateway is inside this VPC, is attached to the gateway inside the transit. And if I click here, I am also able to find the latency between the spoke 2 AWS, which is ACE AWS EU West 1 spoke 2 to ACE AWS EU West 1 transit 1. So it is a very low latency, which is expected as we are within the region. Now, if I go and look, for example, between, let me close this. If I go and look between AWS and Azure, for example, I can see that the latency went more than 100-fold, right? We were at, I think, 0 point something, and we are now at 68. So it's almost 300 times. But this is very much expected as this connectivity is over the internet versus, and this is in EU West, and this is in East US. So they are even in different continents, versus this one is a one within the same region. Okay. So I can do the same that I've done for AWS. I can expand the spokes. I'm able to see the gateways that are highlighted by the Aviatrix icon, and I'm able to see the other virtual machines that are within that VPC. Again, if I'm into anything that I don't know, I can just look at the legend and I understand that the VNet, and then I can see the subnets, and I can see the user VMs, meaning the non-Aviatrix VMs, and the gateway icons. Same thing for GCP. I think it's clear by now. The other thing that you can actually do is